Welcome, and my name is Abby Hyatt, and our main focus of today is teaching you about the talented and the gifted. Teachers make the fundamental difference for students. Today I will be discussing with you what you need to know to accommodate for teaching the gifted and talented students in your mixed ability class. We will go through definitions, testings, and teaching strategies. I would like you to take a moment to think about what it means for a student to be gifted. I would like you to think about their capabilities compared to their peers. I would like you to think about their social interactions with other students, their intellectual capabilities, their physical capabilities. Take a moment to think about what it means for a student to be gifted. Students with gifts and talent perform or have the ability to form above their level compared to their peers the same age. They require modifications to their educational experiences in order to learn and realise their full potential. Students who are gifted and talented come from all racial and ethnic backgrounds. The following questions I'm going to ask you will make you question if your student is gifted and talented. I would like you to think about these questions. Does your student experience potential above average? Are they able to finish tasks before their peers? Does your student have highly intellectual thoughts? Does your student show off their creativity? Do they share an abundance of creativity throughout their work? Does your student exhibit different forms of social differences between peers? Does your student express different ways of showing physical traits? There are other key factors with gifted and talented students, which help us to determine if our students are gifted. Our gifted and talented students have the ability to understand materials quick and easy. This means that our students don't take the full time to complete work. It means if you are to give a student a time factor that they need to follow, they will not take the same amount of time as other peers. Another factor is they have the ability to read before school age. This can include long chapter books. They hold a high vocabulary range and are able to speak above their age level. When given materials, they are able to distinguish relevant and irrelevant information. They experience metacognitive understandings. This means that they are aware and they understand their own thought process and they are able to comprehend what they are thinking at all times. They display great curiosity towards tasks. They are high risk takers and they are emotionally intense. There are certain characteristics which come as being a gifted and talented student. There are both positive and negative characteristics. We're going to have a look at them now. So one of the positive characteristics is they are very inquisitive. They like to ask questions. They like to take the question asking further than needed. They have superior language abilities, are able to speak above their grade level. They are very imaginative, creative, and are high-level problem solvers. They have the ability to reflect on one's work and have interests in adult topics. Now, with these positives come some negative characteristics. They have uneven mental development. They have excessive self-criticism, and they are very opinionated. Once their mind is set in stone, that is their opinion. They self-doubt a lot and they hold high levels of frustration and anger. Once you have begun to think to yourself if your student is gifted and talented, there are 4 phases of testing to begin. Phase 1 is the nomination phase. This is where the giftedness comes from teacher, parent, peer, and self-nomination through observing the student's actions. There is the screening phase. This is where testing the gifted and talented through achievement and standardized testing comes into play. This can include the standard NAPLAN testing. There are teacher-made tests. This is in order to establish differentiation and to help us deliver our curriculum. And there is the monitoring phase. This is identifying the students' outcomes, seeing how they have learned from the curriculum and how we are able to further support them with the change of their curriculum. Once your student has gone through the 4 phases of testing, you are able to see the previously mentioned positive and negative characteristics shine through there. I'd like to give you some tips now for exploring and development with teaching the gifted and the talented. At home, students have the ability to build a read, watch, and listen list. This allows students to feel in control of what they are able to decide. Now, a read, watch, and listen list can include finding chapter books to read, watching and listening to documentaries, listening to audiobooks. At school, they are able to develop an individual study plan in order to help them make connections between subjects. This allows students to feel a sense of independence within their education. Our goal as teachers is to be able to acknowledge the gifted and the talented, express high levels of teaching capabilities, hold a deep understanding of all topics taught, and efficiently and effectively customize teaching plans in order to accommodate for our students. We need to be able to have the ability to motivate our students in order to help them want to learn. Now, to achieve our goals, we must follow some simple steps. We need to learn, what do our students need to know? What do they need to know in order to reach their goals? As teachers, we must establish what our students need to know in order to help them achieve realistic goals. What activities do they like to participate in? Now, for teaching the gifted and talented, learning what activities they like to be participating in is an extremely beneficial tool. If students like to be outdoors, you are able to take a maths lesson outside. If students like to be outside creating projects, this is an amazing activity for science. There is an ability to be able to take lessons outside for students who like to be outdoors. Now, this is also for ICT. It is important for students who need technology to help them learn that they have access to this technology. It is important that we learn which resources will best help our students' engagement. We then need to look at the outcomes of their curriculum plans and work out if any of their curriculum plans must be changed in order to suit their needs. It is important that we reflect on what and how we are teaching our students in order to learn if we need to change simple measures, if we need to change whole study plans, if we need to include technology into their study plans, if we need to change how they are studying. It is important that we reflect on our teaching as they are completing their goals. I would like to thank you for taking this time in educating yourself and others on how to better our teaching towards our gifted and talented students. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to learn about our goals as teachers, their characteristics as students. Thank you for taking the time.